Spanning 8 countries and representing over 30% of the global forest area, the Boreal Forest is one of the world's most influential biomes. Humans rely on this forest for over 33% of their lumber needs. However, human impacts have been threatening the forest and ecosystems that over 85 mammals call home.
The human activities that are having a damaging effect on the boreal forest are logging leading to deforestation, human-brought invasive species dominating food webs, and climate change increasing wildfires. These 4 effects adding onto each other are creating a serious threat to biodiversity in the forest. Deforestation is scarring the landscape and disrupting habitats. According to an article from the Natural Resources Defense Council, the biggest threat is logging for the boreal forest. They also state that each year, industrial logging operations clear-cut approximately 1 million acres of intact forest, the equivalent to 5 NHL-sized hockey rinks every minute. This leads to some of the areas not growing back at all. The relentless pursuit of profit has created irreversible damage, leaving ecosystems fragmented, which leads to endangered species because the populations have less land to live off of. Human-induced invasive species are damaging ecosystems, outcompeting native flora and fauna, upsetting delicate ecological balances. The unchecked spread of these invaders further harms the boreal's rich diversity, pushing species to the edge of extinction. An example of this is the spongy moth. According to the Nature Conservancy of Canada, spongy moths eat tree leaves, leading to mass defoliation. This leaves trees without their canopy, and therefore they cannot obtain energy. An effect like this would not just kill off thousands of trees, but would also have a massive effect on the biodiversity of the ecosystem. Rising temperatures and erratic weather patterns caused by climate change have intensified wildfires, transforming vast expanses of green into charred landscapes. According to a Greenpeace article, hot and dry days create fuel for forest fires, and because of climate change, the number of hot days in Canada is growing. As climate change continues to worsen, the wildfires intensify and biodiversity drops, displaying our urgent need for climate action. As humans continue to exploit and degrade the boreal forest, we jeopardize the countless species that call it home. The continuation of hundreds of species relies on what humans' next efforts are at stopping our negative impact.
With all the harmful effects people have had on the boreal forest throughout the Anthropocene, there have been some conservation efforts by different countries. In Canada, our main conservation effort for the Boreal Forest is made by the Canadian Forest Service, or the CFS. This group created a 10-year national research agenda centered around 2 main areas: understanding, assessing, and reducing risk of cumulative effects, and creating and developing tools and knowledge to restore forest ecosystems. Additionally, other countries have had their own conservation efforts. New, stricter FSC standards in Russia force forest managers to set aside 80% of the intact forest landscape to protect their biodiversity. Additionally, they have made it so that at least 10% of the original forest must be left when clear cutting. The FSC has led to the establishment of 2 national parks and 2 regional protected areas in Russia, thus protecting approximately 600,000 hectares of the most ecologically valuable intact forest landscapes. While these conservation efforts are great, the boreal forests are still in a decline. Climate change and human impacts on the forests have caused the destruction of ecosystems and habitats that native animals rely on to survive. If we plan to live in a sustainable and green future, global governments must do more to protect these forests.